Thank you, Nathan and Otavia, for the talk. Now we know everything we need to know about Jakarta data.
And we cannot wait to use it.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that has been put a lot of efforts into lately. It's something that we've had for a long time, namely the Jakarta tutorial.
Yes.
And it has been this great document, been out there, but in desperate need of updated. And now we've had someone take some work and modernize it and updated it for us.
And it's been a lot of work. And actually, it's just recently that we have the revamped Jakarta tutorial on the website.
Yeah, it was like a week or two ago or something.
Yes, it just happened. We're super excited, and so far we're getting fabulous feedback. Now, we revamped the tutorial, but it's not necessarily completely updated to the version 10. That is still work in progress. So once you go and have a look, you will clearly see the chapters that are still work in progress.
Yeah, and it's a GitHub project.
Absolutely.
It's on our GitHub organizations under Jakarta E. It's got Jakarta E tutorial.
Yes.
And you can just go and contribute to it.
And you will see what issues are marked as help needed. So if you see and you're confident that you can contribute, or even if you're not confident but you would like to contribute, please give it a try and check it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and we're going to be honest, we haven't done any of this work.
No.
The work with revamping the tutorial has been led by Kido.
Yeah.
And we've been so lucky that Kido has created a video for us on the work of the tutorial.
So yeah, let's have a look what Keto has done.
Hello, my name is Keto Man. I am one of the project leads for the Eclipse documentation for Jakarta EE project. And I wanted to spend just a few minutes to you, talking to you today to explain sort of what we've done and how you can help out if you're so inclined. Most of you may remember the Jakarta EE tutorial. It looked a lot like this. And it's been around for a very long time, for a good portion of Jakarta EE's, well, for all of the life of Jakarta EE and a good portion of the life of Java EE beforehand. And the documentation has, sort of your standard ASCII doc look, which you see in a lot of technical documentation, especially in the Java space. It is one huge file, so if you wanted to search, you have to search this file, and then you've got to go through, search for persistence, go through all the different matches in the entire file. The way the navigation works is fine, but when you get to something this large, it kind of breaks down. So you can jump around the different sections, but again, it's one huge file. So we have been working on a couple key things. Number one, we wanted to sort of modernize the tutorial itself and provide more of a documentation framework that we can use in the future. This actually, the new version of the tutorial that we've been working on just went live this fall. So this is what the new one looks like. And you can see, first of all, we actually have dark mode. Woohoo! So you can easily switch between dark and light mode. And each chapter you can go in, and the navigation on the left takes you to the top level chapter, and on the right you see the individual sections within the chapter. So we spent a lot of time sort of migrating to this new platform, and although we're still using ASCII doc underneath as our markup language because it's superior to Markdown, we're also using another open source project called Antora to actually go ahead and build out a real full-fledged documentation site. So this lets us do a couple different things. Obviously, we have, it looks a little more modern. We have the dark light feel. You can also do a real search. So if I search for persistence this way, you can see we've actually got hits in different sections. Okay, so this is a little more useful than just searching inside the one single page. And also you see we have the prior version in here as well. So another key thing this lets us do is jump between different versions of the same documentation. So I just jumped from the 10.0 version to the 9.1 version. And once we add 11, we'll be able to jump back to 10. So this lets you, if you're working with a particular version of a Jakarta EE, find documentation that's relevant for the version you're working with. So this is largely the work that we've done over the last several months. Where we are now is we could use some help with a few things. There's a few minor things that we're working on. The most important one, though, is updating for Jakarta EE 10. So if I go through some of these older sections, they haven't been updated for Jakarta EE 10. And if you're interested in helping out with that or any other minor changes, there are plenty which don't require a lot of deep understanding of Jakarta EE or any particular programming technology. You can certainly check us out on our GitHub page. So you can find us at Jakarta EE on GitHub, and inside of that organization, there's the Jakarta EE tutorial project. And here you'll find a README that explains all of sort of how the site is built. There's a few different repositories, so it explains those different repositories and how they're all related. The main one that has the content is the tutorial one, which is the one we're at now. There's also a comprehensive contribution guide that's updated based on the new standards that we've developed, and information about how to create diagrams. So if you like doing that, there's a standard way that we do it now. And there's also a style guide as well. So we wanted to try to ensure that we have a modern voice for any new content that's being written and some specific guidelines. So these are all explained here as well. So you can just run over to this site and then, of course, go to the issue tracker. And we've tagged everything. So there's a lot of issues which are marked help wanted. So you can always check those out. There's also good first issues. And there's also a milestone specifically for Jakarta EE 10 update. So if you're interested in helping out with that, with a little bit of content or an example, check that out as well. And we've tried to be pretty comprehensive in terms of the way the tickets are written. So if you do see a ticket that looks interesting to you, check it out. If there's any questions about it, you can just tag me. I'm at Keto99. And we'd love to have your help, and I hope you will take a few minutes to at least take a look at the tutorial. Even if you don't have time to help, take a look, see what you think, let us know, and we'd love your feedback.
Well, that was a great update on the great summarizing on the update of the tutorial.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it out.
Yeah,
and check it.
I know everyone's excited about that. But there is another topic that I think it's for our line of business very, very important, and that's the communication. Yeah. For example, you and I were both non-native English speakers. Yeah. And we're really sensitive towards that in terms of having a proper understanding of each other and potentially misusing some of the words and being flexible in that terms. But also, I think we're global as a global community.
Yes, I mean, we are a global community,
yeah.
And English is the language of use there. So it's good to know how to speak and understand English. And I think also one thing you point, we're not native English speakers, but that in some points that is actually an advantage.
It could
because
be, yes.
We're also used to think in a different language. So when we talk to other non-native English speakers, they have kind of the same way. So we can understand things when there are confusion from a native, because they are so, it's their natural thing.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
So maybe we should be translators between the the British and the Americans.
And the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I know, that's our next task. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. But there is another aspect of it. So for us, actually, it is very natural to interact with the machine, right? So we have a lot of human to machine interaction, but we also are working in teams. So communications and how we project ourselves and how we allow others to be understood by us and how we understand them, it's very, very important. And recently, I don't know whether you had a chance, but we looked a little bit of presentation that our colleague Sylvia Miles from Germany, again, non-English speaker, introduced to us, and she talked about the four sides of communication model. And it is very interesting because it's also called 4 beaks, 4 ears communication model. And she also recorded a short video for us and recapped this communication model. So I think it's worthwhile.
I think we should see that video.
Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to see it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
My name is Sylvia Miles, and I'm working for the Eclipse Foundation. And I'm happy to tell you today something about the 4 sides model. So what is the 4 sides model and how does it work and where does it apply? So it's actually a communication model which was developed by a German psychologist. His name is Friedemann Schulz von Thun. And he mentioned that when people speak to each other, they speak with 4 beaks and listen with 4 ears. So mastering these individuals and allowing them to work together in harmony increases the chances of trouble-free and constructive interpersonal encounters. So these are the 4 sides of the 4 sides model, which is also known basically in Germany about a 4 ears model. All 4 sides are on the sides of the sender and the sides of the receiver. So we have self-revelation, factual content, relationship, and appeal. So let me try to explain to you on a little example what does it mean. So as you can see on that picture, there are a woman and a man sitting on a table and eating a home-cooked meal. And the man said, "There's something green in the soup." And the woman answers, "Oh, if you don't like the taste, you can cook it yourself." So what does that mean on the sender and receiver side and the 4 models of communication? So on the factual content, it's actually the same on both sides. There's something green, and on the receiver side, he receives there's something green. On self-revelation, the sender says, "I don't know what it is." And the receiver understands, "Do you know what the something green is? And that makes me feel uncomfortable." On the relationship side, from the sender, it could say, "You should know what it is." And on the receiver side, he could understand, "You think my cooking is questionable?" And the last side is the appeal. Sender says, "Tell me what it is." The receiver, "I should only cook what you know in the future." So the woman answers is, "If you don't like the taste, you can cook it yourself." So factual content is it's actually a statement to share data and facts. With the self-revelation, the sender reveals information about himself. The receiver of the message makes an assessment of his counterpart based on this information. The next one is the relationship level. It reveals how the person relates to each other on a human level. The appeal side is perceived as an appeal. The receiver thinks that the sender wants to make him perform a certain action or otherwise influence him. So very important to know is, no matter what the sender intends, every message basically contains all 4 levels. Two people can interpret one and the same statement from the same sender in completely different ways. And working remotely and with different cultures, is really a challenge for all of us. But my message is, be careful how you communicate with person. Be aware, treat each other with respect, and communicate in a nice way. So I thank you for listening to my talk, and I wish you a wonderful day. And enjoy your conference. Bye.
Okay, so now we know a lot of communication and communication styles and human to machine communication. So next year, with this, the speed things are going, we'll probably have machines talking to machines. But the next talk we're having here is Lukman Said from Payara, and he's going to talk about continuous integration and continuous deployment for Jakarta EE applications.